Yeah, so in the last video, recombination then, the chromosomes, they recombine, that's recombination. This happens when there is sexual reproduction. So mother's genes and father's genes meet and they remix in that way. And well, animals reproduce sexually, almost always. Some animals are different some of the time, but it's almost all of them sexually reproducers. So for that reason then, for animals, recombination is a constant and an important way in which evolution works. Well now, mutation is one that just happens sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time like recombination, but when it happens, it can make big differences. Well, so mutation then, what is mutation? Mutation, that is a mistake in the sequence of genes. So to think of mutation, well, you should probably think of the DNA. It looks like a big, long, winding staircase. And you have all those genes arranged all along the way, lots and lots of them. And it's in a particular sequence, and proteins connect these things up busily. Well, but mistakes happen. Well, they happen often. And they can happen by, you get two of them in a row instead of one. Or, oops, skipped one, missed one. Or one got in there upside down or sideways, something happened backwards. All of these are mistakes that happen when building DNA. Proteins make mistakes too. Well, so most people think, yeah, but that's not a big deal, it doesn't really matter. Well, it does, but usually when mutations happen, it makes no difference. Most mutations, in fact, make no difference at all, none. How is that possible? Well, it's because you may be surprised to find out that in your DNA, most of those gene sequences do nothing in particular. There's no information, there are no traits encoded in most of that DNA. It's just taking up space. It's just, it doesn't matter, genes. Most of your genes are genes that don't matter. So if the order was wrong somehow, if a mistake was made, it made absolutely no difference at all. So that's why. That's right. Most of your genes, most of your DNA is just some genes for no reason. Yeah. Of course, some of your genes actually do something, like say what color eyes you have or something like that. And well, because some of your genes actually do something, then, well, this can happen. Some mutations can be something bad. So let's say you were born with one eyeball instead of two. Well, I suppose that would be a bad thing because, well, it would probably be harder to survive. So that couldn't be good. Well, sometimes, though, mutations are actually something good. So, well, for example, there's a famous example of a butterfly, a white butterfly, that by mutation, a black butterfly was born from a white butterfly. Well, that turned out to be, well, a good thing for some black butterflies. Because what's good or what's bad depends on environs. Well, mostly it was not a good thing to be a black butterfly because the trees were white, so you showed up easily and then birds ate you. But it got really dirty in this one part of England, and the white trees turned dark. And so it was better to be a black butterfly. And so therefore, the black ones lived. So that turned out to be a good thing. It just depended upon the environment. Then the air got cleaner and the trees were white again, and it was better to be a white one. So it just depends on whether there's an advantage out in the world or not, what's good or what's bad. But mutations are happening. They happen and they can make big differences. And even though it's not that frequent, well, it's frequent enough that it's an important way in which evolution works.